have to first introduce Ayurveda as a Shastra. So, I'll explain what is the difference between Shastra and science. Science is knowledge. Any sort of knowledge we call science. But Shastra is different. The meaning of the word Shastra in Sanskrit is Shasati iti. Shasati means spoken in affirmation. When you say something in Shastra, you cannot change it. That means, if we say something is a Shastra, a system is a Shastra, the basic principles, the fundamentals of Shastra cannot be changed. So this makes a lot of questions. A lot of questions can arise when I say they will not change, because we think everything is changeable. If the basics of our thought process is also changeable, then our inferences are never correct. Today's inference is tomorrow's wrong. So that is not the right thing. Fundamentals of Shastra cannot change. And how can there be such fundamentals in a changeable world? See, the world is there, which we observe. And we are here, we are the observers. The observer never changes. Observer is I. That I never change. I and this. This is the observed. I never change. Shastra explains the observed, all observed things, as how the observer experiences it, not as how the thing is there, but how the observer experiences his objects. The observer never changes. So, in that way, unchangeable, permanent theories and principles are made unchangeable for Homo sapien. Homo sapien has a way of perception, thought, discrimination, and producing knowledge, a Gnostic system that never changes. So, that principles which are made according to how the observer observes the world or experiences the world, that also will not change. And it is not surprising that when I say there is something called Shastra and the basic principles will never change. The one example among our modern sciences is mathematics. Mathematics is the only Shastra among modern sciences, the basics of which never change. You can't change. If you change the basics, it goes wrong. If you don't change the basics, to any extent you can elaborate it and use it for anything. See, 1 to 9 and 0 is the basics of algebra. It never changes. It is derived, that system, that number system is derived from a philosophy. Actually, that it was derived from the philosophy of Sankhya, Kapila Muni's Sankhya. Sankhya, the word Sankhya Shastra, the meaning of the word Sankhya is about the number. About the number. Sankhya means number. What is the importance of number? our concept is that the truth is absolute one. Absolute one means one without another, where the observer, the observed, and the observation becomes one. That is beyond our imagination, but it is reasonably supposed. And from that, we deduct up to the physical object, without causing incongruity to that concept of absolute one. You call it God or Atma or what, self or whatever is it. But that absolute one, Ekameva Advaitam Brahma, one, absolute one, without causing an incongruity to that, how we can explain the physical world, its metaphysical forms, energy forms, gross physical forms. This is the Sankhya philosophy. And this Sankhya philosophy is the basis of Ayurveda also. Mathematics also is the same thing. In mathematics, you can't change it. The basics never change. The basics of geometry you cannot change. Basics of algebra you cannot change. The numbers you cannot change. 1 to 9. After 9 you cannot make another thing. 1 to 9 and 0. That you cannot change because that system will never, the deductions using that system will never cause incongruity to the idea of infinity. Infinity is the same like what in Sankhya they say Purusha or Atma or Absolute One. So I am explaining this to show the example for Shastra, the difference between Shastra and science. Shastra never changes because the basics never change. The unchanged, we think everything is changeable. No. The observer never changes. Only observed changes. Observer is the I. I think I am body, mind, I. But in fact, I know myself. The body, mind, I. So that I who knows me is the witness of myself. In Ayurveda it is called Sakshi, witness. Yeah, Sakshi Tichade. This is the world. If you take the table as an example of the world, it is observed. I am the observer. The body, mind, I is the observer. In fact, the body, mind, I, the observer, also is an object of me because I know. I am aware of myself. I know I am seeing. I am experiencing the world. So it's one event. The table, me, the knowing, physical knowing. All these are one event. And who is seeing that? Who is experiencing it? Is the me inside me who is a witness. Unaffected, uninvolved.